to you and all the devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. Kamindaki Mataji, thank you so much for joining and giving a beautiful association this morning. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Shivani Mataji, Danvat Pranam to you and all Vaishnavas. Srila Prabhupada Sri Vrinda, Bal Vrinda, Danvat Pranam to your sincere seva. Hari Hari.
Hare Krishna, Vindagopika Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru and Gauranga ki jai. Thank you so much for joining and giving a beautiful association this morning. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Shivani Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from College Station, Texas.
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Balavinda.
Hare Krishna, Vindagopika Mataji. Hare Krishna, Balvrinda. Thank you so much for joining and giving a beautiful association this morning. Thank you for the beautiful Bhagavad Gita recitation. All glories to your services, Mataji. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Danvat Pranams, or glories to Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, and all the assembled Vaishnavas. This is Kirti Rasundari Gansi.
Hare Krishna, Kirti Sundari Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru and Gauranga ki jai. Thank you so much for joining and giving a beautiful association. All glories to your services, Mataji. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. I would like to start by sharing a quote by Srila Prabhupada ji.
Hare Krishna. Dandat Pranam. Yes, Mataji.
A Krishna conscious person must be seen by ears and not by eyes. One should try to know the depth of realization by Krishna conscious person and not see the beard which has become the practice of the hippies. Letter to Brahmananda, October 11th, 1967. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Dear devotees, I welcome you all to Bhakti Sangha Japa Conference call. Today we're very fortunate to have His Grace Haridas Varya Prabhuji. Prabhuji will be enlightening us on the topic of Vrindavana, Ramya Sthana, Session 3. Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. Haridas Varya Prabhuji, thank you so much for joining and giving your valuable time in association this morning. Waiting eagerly to hear from you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru and Gauranga ki jai. Please take over the call, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much. First and foremost, my Dandavat Pranams to all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis here. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Anant Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. So I welcome all of you to the final session of Vrindavana Ramya Sthana. I say the final session because this is the time that we have before we enter Kartik and before we all go to Vrindavan. So over the course of many weeks, we have been fortunate enough to get the association of fellow Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis on this call, and they are all sharing their realizations as well as speaking out their appreciation for the Vrindavan Dham. The topic that was given to me was to go through the song of Narottam Das Thakur, Vrindavana Ramya Sthana, which we are going paragraph by paragraph or every single 4 lines. And we are relishing Vrindavan Dham through those lines. We have completed the first 2. And today we'll be seeing the last paragraph where Narottam Das Thakur is praying in a very unique way. And through that, we touched upon the winter, which is almost around the corner. And the winter will be arriving very, very soon in Vrindavan Dham. And the wonderful winter pastimes of Vrindavan Dham is what we spoke about. A part of it we will continue today as well. As we enter into this winter in Vrindavan, let us remember Sri Radha and Krishna the Yugal Chavi, and also the devotees who are contributing to this wonderful Leelas of the Lord. So before we dive deeper, I would like to put a very bold disclaimer that I am not an expert on this topic. This is very, very deep. I am actually standing at the shore of this magnanimous ocean whose depths, I do not know how deep it is. But I take the shelter of the great acharyas who are the sharks and the whales who dive deeper and deeper into this ocean and bring us pearls, rubies, and bring us various different facets of understanding of this ocean of rasa, ocean of love, and ocean of the glories of Vrindavan. So it becomes my foremost duty that if I step into this ocean, I will drown. Not drown in the ocean of love, but drown by even trying to attempt to step into the ocean. So we need a lifeguard, we need a protector, we need somebody who can guide us very safely through these waters of intense, thick love of prema. Hence, we need the support of the acharyas. So, very humbly, I would pray unto the lotus feet of the acharyas and also the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis to kindly bless me so that I can at least speak some words in the glorification of the divine couple. With that, we will render our Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuronmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatharine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam Pangum langayate girim Yatkripatamaham Bande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tat Sat. As you all know that this is the week of Navaratri and very soon we are going to celebrate Vijaya Dashami. So in these 9 days, generally the Shakta worshippers of the Lord, they worship Yogamaya, Mahamaya, etc. And today specifically, across the world, they worship Mother Saraswati as Saraswati Puja. As Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we have a strong connection with Mother Saraswati, who is mistress of learning, as Srila Prabhupada puts it. She comes in the very first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So it is very nice that we remember today with her shloka. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jaya mudirayet. Srila Prabhupada writes in a very nice way in the translation that before reciting this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, we should offer respectful obeisances unto many personalities, starting with the pure personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Naranarayana Rishi, the supermost human being, and then unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasdev, who is the author of Srimad Bhagavatam. So I humbly pay my humble obeisances unto Mother Saraswati, that she be always be present during this lecture and throughout life for enabling this learning about Srimad Bhagavatam. With that, today we continue about the glories of Vrindavan Dham. So today is session number 3, where we are talking about Vrindavana Ramya Sthana. It's a very beautiful, amazing, divine and transcendental place or dham of Vraja, which is Vrindavan. And in the last week, we learned that there are many seasons in Vrindavan. How many seasons are there in Vrindavan? We learned. Anybody has any idea? Last week we learned some numbers of
10,
seasons.
10 seasons.
10 seasons, absolutely right. And those seasons were joy of monsoon, there was pleasure of autumn, there was satisfaction of winter, there was happiness of the dewy season where the dew is formed, there was beauty of spring, auspiciousness of summer. So all these 6 seasons were found. Joy, pleasure, satisfaction, happiness, beauty, auspiciousness, all these qualities each season would provide. Then the next 3 were the combinations of these seasons. And finally, the 10th season was simultaneous appearance of all the 10 seasons at Radhakund, which form the unmanifested pastimes. So this is very wonderfully mentioned. If somebody asks, Prabhu, where is this mentioned? So this is mentioned by Jiva Goswami in his text called as Gopala Viruddhavali. This is a very beautiful text, a short collection of poems, short collection of verses which form a poem, which is called Gopala Viruddhavali. In that, in text number 24 of Gopala Viruddhavali, Jiva Goswami writes, Madhava Bhinnavad. Madhava means spring season. Madhava also means one who is having Mother Lakshmi on his chest. So Madhava, but it's also known for spring season. Madhava Bhinnavat. That means, oh Lord, you are as charming as the spring, as you are not different from the spring. It's as if you are exactly charming as the spring. Or the other way, the spring is as charming as you, O my Lord. And then he says, Ushna Tamina Varidasakta. And you are the pleasant as summer. And in this way, he mentions that you are as splendid as the monsoon season. You are the Lord with limitless playfulness of the autumn, and you are wonderful handsomeness of the winter. So while we mentioned the joy of monsoon, pleasure of autumn, satisfaction of winter, happiness of dewy, beauty of spring, auspiciousness of summer, last week we learned that how these every single quality Srimati Radharani would like to bring it for the pleasure of Krishna. And here Jiva Goswami is mentioning how Krishna acts in each of these seasons. He's charming in spring, he's pleasant in summer, he's splendid in the monsoon season, he's limitlessly playful in the autumn season, and he's wonderfully handsome in the winter season. And this is very wonderful that when I read this, it was mentioned that he's handsome. He's most beautiful. Always, Krishna is all attractive, but he's more handsome in winter. And I was thinking, how is that so? Because in winter, you'll be covered with layers and layers of clothing to protect from the cold. But there are times when Krishna will shed it all. And today we are going to see those particular pastimes which happened in winter, where Krishna's handsomeness is extraordinary. And that makes Vrindavan even more beautiful. So each of these seasons, be it the summer, the monsoon, or the winter, they come with various different permutations and combinations. There would be permutations and combinations of climate. Of course, in summer, the climate would be different. In monsoon and winter, the climate would be different. The foliage, that means the leaves, the shrubs, the vines, the lata, the creepers, all these will have a different look and feel when they are facing different seasons throughout Vrindavan. There will be also different fruits which appear. We saw last week how different flowers come in. Bela, Champa, Chuhi, Chameli, all these, Gulab. These are various different flowers which blossom itself in the forests of Vrindavan according to different seasons. The harvest or the agriculture, that also changes. The crops change as per seasons. The animals who appear and disappear in different seasons are different. And in fact, even the birds, one who make noises or sweet sounds across the forest, resonating the instructions of Vrinda Devi, are also carried out by different birds. Our acharyas go up to the nth limit to describe how Ramya Sthana it is and how birds play a part in this beautiful season of winter. What to speak of winter, they start narrating about how birds play a very beautiful part right from the summer season. So in the season of summer, if we go to Vrindavan, we will hear this particular bird called as Titilba. Titilba. And I do not know if many of you have found it. You can Google it. The Titilba bird has a very strong voice. And during summer, the voice is very clear, and it is compared that when it starts to echo its sound across the forest, it's as if the Dundubi drums are playing. You all remember Dundubi are the kettle drums which are played in heaven. And that is why Vasudev's another name was Anakadundubi, because when he was born, all the kettle drums were playing. So Vasudev was also called as Anakadundubi. So this Titilba bird, it makes such a wonderful musical sound that it sounds like the kettle drums. In the monsoon, everybody knows this bird which announces the arrival of monsoon. Can anybody guess which is the bird which announces the arrival of monsoon? Which bird announces?
Cuckoo bird.
Which one?
Cuckoo bird.
Cuckoo bird, yes. But
Cuckoo announces
Peacock?
spring, right? Cuckoo
Peacock.
announces peacock.
Yes, cuckoo also announces, but then the peacocks, when they dance, it's sure it's gonna rain.
But cuckoo announces spring, Prabhuji.
Spring, yes. Cuckoo announces the season, but the monsoon season is specifically very wonderfully exhibited by peacocks. Mayura Nityam. And they actually do a very beautiful dance. And they spread their feathers, and Krishna gets very satisfied looking at the dance of the peacocks. We learned last week that how when those peacocks dance, when Krishna plays the flute, all the other animals are wrapped in attention. They are standing on top of the hills and they're just looking at this nectar of dance. And sometimes Krishna dances as well on the Mor Mukut. And they don't know who is dancing better, because it's so wonderful the way Krishna dances. He's a supreme dancer. And in the winter season, there are these partridges. I don't know if you have seen the bird called partridge. Generally, in India also, you have partridges. And they have this unique sound, which is very sweet. They lay out these short bursts of a sound, and that resonates across the forests of Vrindavan. So in every season, these combinations change, and it's very unique. Most of the times when we go to Vrindavan, we are so enamored by looking at the temples, the deities. But it's also, we should take out time to take out some little time to just sit and observe the birds of Vrindavan, the parrots of Vrindavan, the trees of Vrindavan, the grass of Vrindavan, the river Yamuna of Vrindavan. We should take a note because all of these are pure devotees of the Lord. And they are staying there for the pleasure of Radha and Krishna. So winter brings a lot of opportunities for Radha and Krishna to meet. In fact, a lot of pastimes have happened during the winter season. One of the most popular pastime which happened in the winter season is the chastisement of Kaliya in the Yamuna river. And Krishna, we all know how he was dancing very wonderfully on top of Kaliya. Jaya Vijayi Bhavananda Kumar, Paramananda Nanda Kishore, Kalinda Tanaya Nanda Kishore. So in this way, all the Gopas, they were singing glories. Jaya Vijayi Bhava Nanda Kumar, O the son of Nanda, let there be all auspiciousness and victory unto you. You have gained victory over the serpent of many hoods. And you have defeated the pride of Kaliya. But the waters were so cold because it was winter. Kaliya used to stay there. He used to make huge columns with the help of these waters. And he used to stay there for long. And because he had poison in his fangs, he used to keep himself warm. Krishna jumped into those frigidly cold waters, icy waters of Yamuna. And he was there. He was dancing, but he was feeling cold. From there, he took another jump. From one jump from the banyan tree, he jumped into the river. Then on top of the hood of the Kaliya. Then jumping on top of the hoods of the Kaliya. And then from there, he jumped and landed on a small hill, which we can still see if you go to the Radha Madan Mohan temple. Just by Sanatan Goswami's Bhajan Kutir, you will see a small hill. And he was standing there and shivering. He was shivering so much. And he was shivering because he was feeling cold. And Raghunath Bhatt Goswami says, I would like to offer some verses here, looking at Krishna, what happened. So in his beautiful poem called as Vraja Leela Sthava, Raghunath Bhatt Goswami, he offers this beautiful prayer in text number 82 and text number 83. He says Krishna was shivering due to the cold and he just looked up. And at that time, what happened? To give warmth to the Lord, to ensure that the cold feeling goes away immediately from the body of Krishna, 12 different suns appeared at that place. 12 different suns appeared at that place. And with great devotion, they gave the intense heat to the Lord. They warmed the Lord. And because of their intense shining, that place became known as Dwadash Aditya Tila, where the 12 suns appeared simultaneously to give warmth to the Lord. One sun was not enough. 12 suns were giving simultaneous heat to the Lord so that his entire feeling of cold goes away. His shivering goes away. And Raghunath Bhatt Goswami says, with the 12 suns shone from every direction, when there was intense heat, after some time, Krishna started to perspire because now it was too much heat. His cold went away, but then there was too much heat now, and he started to perspire. And that these small drops of perspiration, it fell from Krishna's transcendental body. And it became a very beautiful, charming, splendid, clear lake. And it had the sweet fragrance because it touched the body of the Lord. And this Lord's body was very delicate. And it was coming from this supremely handsome boy, Krishna, from his supremely opulent, transcendental limbs. Raghunath Bhatt Goswami says, this lake which got formed is called as Praskandahana Sarovara. the lake which was formed by the perspiration because there were 12 suns simultaneously at Dwadash Aditya Tila. So in Vrindavana Stava, in text number 82 and 83, he extensively glorifies Krishna. And he says, all glories because we got this pastime during the season of winter. So winter was a very wonderful time where many pastimes happened. The first month of winter was the time when Katyayani Vrata was kept. Immediately the first winter, and all the gopis we know, they chanted the mantra Katyayani Mahamaye Mahayogini Adishwari Nandagopa Sutam Devi Patimme Kurute Nama Iti mantraha japanyasya Pujam Chakro Kumarikaha. Says Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 22nd chapter, verse number 4. That each of the unmarried girls performed her worship while chanting the following mantra, Katyayani Mahamaye, O goddess of Katyayani. And it's very wonderful that we are in Navratri and we have Katyayani, who is none other than Durga, and Durgashtami is coming, and we are discussing about this. So wonderful arrangement of the Lord that we are discussing all these days which are coinciding with the days when we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam and describing Vrindavan. So the gopis, the young gopis, the unmarried girls, they prayed, O goddess Katyayani, you are the great potency of the Lord. You are the possessor of great mystic power and mighty controller of all. Make that son of Nand Maharaj our husband, my husband. Each one had such a prayer, and they say, I offer my obeisances unto you. This offering obeisances is a very wonderful way by which we can please Krishna. Just going before the deities and offering our full dandavats, Krishna gets very pleased. So the unmarried girls prayed in this way. And this famous mantra was also during this occasion of winter season. However, while this was the story of the unmarried girls, there was also a story of the girls who got married. The parents of the gopis, they married them to cowherd men. And the gopis were very sad because they wanted Krishna. They wanted Krishna as their husband. But the parents, they had married the gopis off to cowherd men. And the gopis have to move. Back in the Vedic system, it is a rule that when you get married, you move to the husband's house. You go into the house of the mother-in-law. So the gopis had a lot of grief in their heart. And the gopis felt in a very particular way their situation. And what is that situation? Our acharyas give us a very good insight. That the gopis felt that when they are there in their father's house, their own house, when they were not married, they felt that they were in a prison. Why? They should be happy. They are in their parents' house. No, they could not go out very freely and meet Krishna. So they felt that they were in a prison. Here is a boy who has come from prison, who has ensured that everybody is free from all the bad qualities just by taking darshan of him. But we are still in a prison of this relationship of father, mother, etc., and societal norms. We are in a prison. But what kind of prison is this? The gopis say, but the prison of our parents, where our parents kept us, that prison is like the prison for a king or a queen. But what to speak now? Now when we are gone to our mother-in-law's house, this is a prison for criminals. So they're feeling that they are still in a prison, but one was a prison for a king and a queen, and the other is a prison for criminals. And the acharyas say that the gopis felt that when they had to go to their mother-in-law's house, they felt as if it is worse than walking through a wall of fire. Imagine there's a wall of fire and you have to walk through it slowly. The fire is intensely burning. The gopis said, that is easy. But going into our husband's house, getting married to a cowherd man, not being able to see Krishna, that's even more burning for us. It's a prison house for criminals. And they had miseries on their faces because they couldn't see Krishna. And because it was winter, even if Krishna passed by while they were walking on the roads, because of the fog, if they can't see Krishna, they would be more aggrieved that this winter fog is stopping us from seeing Krishna. First, Brahma has made these eyes and it blinks every now and then, and we can see Krishna only once upon a time. And when our eyes are open, there is fog. And this fog is not allowing us to see Krishna. So there were miseries on their faces. And the parents were clueless, that they thought that the girls will be happy when they are married, but here they are sad and despondent. Their mother-in-laws were constantly angry because they were having sad faces. They thought that their marital life is not giving happiness. And the villagers, they speak amongst themselves. They were very critical to each other, and the gopis felt all the wrath. So the gopis had no other choice. They all went and prayed to Yogamaya, Purnamashi, and they said, please get us out of this difficult proposition. Our parents have got us married, but we are not able to see Krishna. So Yogamaya did a very wonderful trick. She took all of these girls into their homes and she just created duplicates. Duplicates of these gopis, and they got her married to the cowherd men. And the original gopis were protected, kept pure for Krishna. And in this way, Yogamaya ensured that Krishna's pastimes with the gopis can go on. This is a great service by Yogamaya. And during Navratri, we should discuss. While the materialists, they celebrate Mahamaya, but she's also Yogamaya for the devotees. She enables the devotees to pray to Krishna. And the Krishna and the gopis at various different times, they used to enjoy Krishna's pastimes. And winter used to be such playground of pastimes. And when Krishna and the gopis, they walk by the streets, they would exchange sidelong glances. And the gopis would become very happy at heart. In fact, Krishna, they had a complaint always against Krishna. What was the complaint against Krishna? The complaint was, he's the eternal, the most disturbing, eternal prankster. There is no bigger prankster than Krishna. Only thing he does is he gives us endless amount of trouble. All the women who walk by the streets of Vrindavan, they will face with trouble. And this boy, he's an eternal prankster. He's a troublemaker. So one gopi asked, how did he give trouble to you? Please tell me. He's such a wonderful boy. He's such an obedient boy. He's Shama Sundara. He's so beautiful to look at. And she says, this is the problem. The first problem is Krishna is very beautiful. And because of his beauty, nobody talks about the prank he plays with us. And the other Sakhi says, wait a second, you tell me what's the problem. What prank did he play? She says, I will tell you the pranks that he has played. You know, the other day, what happened? She said, what happened? Tell me, what prank did Krishna play? Krishna brought a fruit. That's good. Krishna brought a fruit for you. He never brings anything for me. He said, no, listen to it. Krishna brought a fruit. And this fruit, he showed it to me. And he said, oh, my dear Gopi, I brought this beautiful, tastier fruit for you. And the Gopi, feeling very enchanted by the looks of Krishna and feeling very happy at heart, immediately took the fruit. And she was about to eat. She was about to relish, because this was touched by the Supreme Lord himself, and it was given to this Gopi, and it was full of love. And he smiled and gave it to this Gopi. So she was going to relish it. And as soon as she brought it next to her mouth, Krishna just smacked it from below, and it sprang up from her hand, and it landed in Krishna's hand. And this Gopi was stunned. You just gave it to me for me to eat. And here I am about to eat, and you are just snatching it from me in a very playful manner. But the Gopi doesn't get angry, because Krishna is so beautiful to look at. She says, oh, my dear Lord, what do you want? what do you want? Do you want the fruit? And when she's speaking like that, Krishna takes a bite out of that fruit, puts his nice saliva into that fruit, and takes another bite, chews it, chews very nicely, enjoys, puts his bite and puts his bimba fruit laden color of his lips on that fruit. And then he gives it back to the gopi and says, now you can eat. And she becomes very shy that Krishna is doing such a prank. She says, he played a prank like this. He's an eternal prankster. He doesn't allow us to walk on the streets of Vrindavan. Then the other Sakhi says, this is fine. I will tell you another prank that he played. I said, what is that prank? He brought me nice flowers. And the other Sakhi starts laughing. Oh, mine was fruit, yours is flowers. He said, listen to this. He brought a lot of beautiful flowers from the winter gardens. And he brought all these flowers. And he came to the gopi and he said that these flowers are for you. And she became very happy that Krishna bought flowers. And Krishna said, close your eyes. I will give these flowers and I will put it on your braid. And the gopi turned around and she felt that now Krishna will put all these flowers one by one, keep it on her braid and make her look very beautiful. She turned around, closed her eyes. Krishna made her close her eyes. And she turned around and she's waiting. 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And she opens her eyes and she finds that her friend who is sitting next to her, she is also closing her eyes and Krishna is keeping all these flowers on her braid and she doesn't have anything. Krishna tricked her. She thought that the flowers will come on her braid, whereas Krishna has gone to her friend and has started keeping the flowers on the other gopi's braid. Krishna is such a prankster. Then he would bring a lot of laddu sweets from his Yashoda Maiya's house. He will keep it on top of the altars. He will pack it on the rafter. He will take a pot and he'll keep it right above. And it will be beyond reach. And as I try to get that sweet, and as I jump, he will just pinch me on my stomach and run away. Such is the prankster called Krishna. He gives endless trouble. When I am plaiting my hair, when I am making a braid, when I am creating the plaits, he will come and pull my plait, or he'll come and pull my braid. And when I turn around, before that he will escape, he will run away. And I can't see where he is. And when I am trying to search in my new silken sari, he will take a lot of dirt and put it on my sari. And he will run away from there. What do I do with such a boy? He's such an eternal prankster. Then, sometimes when I'm asleep, I'm very deep asleep because I've done all the chores in the house and I'm so sleepy. And I'm asleep. Sometimes it happens, I begin to snore and all the gopis laugh. Oh, you snore. Okay. I said, I'm very tired. Sometimes I snore. And when I snore, sometimes my mouth is just wide open. And you know what he does? He picks up a very big ant and drops it in my mouth. Who does such pranks? It's Krishna who does such pranks. Such an eternal prankster. We can't even walk on the streets of Vrindavan. And then he says, sometimes he acts so noble. Everybody back in his house, my mother, she says, Krishna is a wonderful boy. He's such an obedient boy. My aunt supports Krishna. My father supports Krishna. With us, he plays all the pranks. But when he goes back to his home, he acts as if he's the perfect gentleman that this whole cosmic manifestation has seen. But he's such a prankster. All of this is okay till the time he brings his flute. He says, what happens with the flute? What has happened with the flute? He says, his flute is mesmerizing. Let's not even talk about it. Do you know what happened with the flute? And now the acharyas cut the scene back during winter. One time, Krishna thought that I have to master my flute. Already, whatever he plays out of his lips and puts that air through that bamboo flute, it's so musical and divine that everything comes to a standstill. But Krishna, today he decided that I should play such a note which will captivate all the minds of the gopis. He wanted to create a musical note with the help of the flute. So first day he started practicing. So day one, he starts to practice his flute. He picks up his flute and he plays his flute, hoping that this tune will bewilder and attract the gopis. And what was his intent? His intent was specifically to attract Srimati Radharani, because she will not get swayed by any common tune that Krishna plays. Krishna has to play a very unique melody by which Srimati Radharani will be attracted. Because for the other gopis, he will play a tune and it will be such heavenly music that they will be, that heavenly melody, hearing them, they will be completely inebriated with that sound of that melody, and they will be unconscious, and sometimes their jaws will be wide open, and it's a mesmerizing scene to see. But not with Srimati Radharani. She will not get enchanted by any common melody. It has to be really divine, coming from the depth of the hearts of Krishna. So Krishna, on day one, he started practicing on top of Govardhan. Next to Govardhan, he sat down and he started playing his flute. But just like anybody who practices, first he took the flute and blew one small blow of air. And if you know the flute, it will just play out one note. And when this note hit the surroundings, all the cows, they were chewing nice, beautiful grass, which was dewy, and there were moisture, and it was so wonderful. It had a fragrant, and they were chewing it. When they heard the first note, which just passed by for a split second, they just stopped. And they looked at each other. Did you hear? Did you hear? Did you hear? They looked at each other's cows, and they all wagged their tails. They said, no, we might be thinking, Krishna is not playing the flute. And they started eating again. And this time, Krishna played the second effort. And he put that beautiful melody. And when he played that melody, all the cows, they were stunned. They relished the beautiful music which was coming, the melody that was coming from Krishna's flute. And they all had their ears pointing upwards. They were looking at each other, and they were as if they were statues. They just stood there. They didn't even wag their tail. They didn't move the flies around. They were just standing there. They didn't even start to chew the most tastiest grass that's found in Govardhan. They gave up eating the grass, and they were just tasting Krishna's sweetest music, which was much, much sweeter than the grass, through their ears, long ears. And Acharyas mentioned they were looking through their eyes. They were showering tears of love towards Krishna. And Krishna was just playing the melody, hoping that Srimati Radhika will be completely enamored by this tune. When he opened his eyes, he saw that only the cows were attracted. He said, I have to practice more. So the next day, he practiced a new tune. And this time, when he played a new melody, a new tune in his flute, all the birds and the animals, they got attracted. They were stunned. They stopped. Some birds which were flying, they just sat on a branch and they didn't even move a single feather. And some of the animals, they just stood still and they just looked at Krishna, who was at a distance and from where the sweet sound of the flute was coming in. The Acharyas and the poet mentions that it seemed as if all these animals and birds are standing still, as if they are confined in an invisible cage. There is no cage, but they were stunned. So it looked as if they were inside cages. They can't move anywhere. But there was no cage. The cage was none other than the beautiful sound and melody of Krishna's flute. So this time Krishna opened his eyes. He saw, oh no, this time it's only animals and birds. Again, I couldn't savor. I couldn't send out this beautiful tune to impress Srimati Radharani. Third day, he played the flute again. And this time he attracted masses and masses of does and deer. They were mesmerized by the tune. Those spotted deers, those ringed deers, those antlers laden deer, and all of them, they came together and they came near Krishna and they adore Krishna. And how did they adore Krishna? They absolutely looked at Krishna with their deer-like, doe-like eyes. They worshipped him with their eyes. The animals, they reciprocated to the sound of the flute so nicely. Krishna said, okay, day 1 cows, day 2 animals, day 3 birds, day 4 deer. When will my day come near? When I have to attract Srimati Radharani? So 4th day, he again started the practice. And by this time, some gopis used to go through that path of Govardhan, and they heard Krishna is practicing every day. So they went and told Mother Yashoda, we already knew, Mother Yashoda, that your boy, Nandanandan, your boy Krishna is expert in tending cows, but he has picked up a new practice. He has picked up a bamboo flute with holes. And when he plays that, he is becoming an expert player of the flute. He's becoming an expert musician, that we are very much eager to hear this particular flute music again and again, this melody again and again. So Krishna played on the 4th day, he played his melody. This time, what happened? The demi-goddesses who were flying around in the sky, they stopped. Some fell down from their chariots. It is mentioned that they were completely attracted by the melody of Krishna's flute music, that their clothes sometimes loosened and fell down. Sometimes they fell down, and sometimes their ornaments, that itself fell down. Such beautifully was how Krishna was playing the flute. Krishna said, they are also not the target audience. I want to impress Srimati Radharani. So the 5th day he tried again. He again played the flute. And now he applied a very powerful melody, which was so sweet and nectarian. And he played it in such a way that all the animate living entities became unconscious. Such powerful for them was the melody of the flute. And all the inanimate became conscious. The straight opposite happened. All the animate became unconscious, and all the inanimate, the stones, everything became so wonderfully conscious. In fact, it is said that even the river Yamuna, when she heard this flute melody, she became so ecstatic that sometimes she stopped flowing. The whole of Yamuna, she stopped flowing. The wind which was flowing by that particular place, it slowed down. It made its speed slower. And even today, just next to Keshi Ghat, that place is called as Dhira Samira. Dhira Samira means it is that place where you can see that the wind also goes very slow. And generally, if you stop there for a second, even today, if you observe, just as you approach Keshi Ghat, you will get nice breeze, which is touching the old architecture and also from Yamuna. But as soon as you take 10 steps and enter Dhir Samira, everything is calmed down. There is still that quietness which is there. And this is what Vrindavan Das Thakur says, that Nityananda Prabhu is enjoying in Ganges, in Mayapur. For a second, let's just go to Mayapur. Bihare Ganga Tire Sei Dhira Samire. Bihare Ganga Tire Sei Dhira Samire. Vrindavana Dasa Kohe Janiya. Nache re nitai Gaura Gunamani. Nitai and Gaura Gunamani are dancing and dancing. Whom are they dancing with? Bhame Priya Gadadhara. They're dancing with Gadadhar. They're dancing with Srivas. They're dancing with Advaita Acharya. And where are they dancing? Bihare Ganga Tire. Now he enjoys on the bank of Ganga, Naur Nitai. But it is just like Sei Dheer Samire. It is like the same Vrindavan's Dheer Samira Kunja. It is similar to Dheer Samira, where even the wind goes very slow because of Krishna's flute. And this who is saying, Vrindavana Dasa Kohe Janiya. Vrindavan Das is talking about this. It's a beautiful poem of Vrindavan Das Thakur. Nache Nache Gaur Gunamaniya. So even Dheer Samira, at that time, Yamuna is flowing very, very slowly. And she ensures that she's so happy that Krishna is playing this flute. She wants to collect all the lotus flowers which are in and around the banks of Yamuna. She makes the waters go in circles. She collects all the lotus flowers, the buds, the lotuses, and she brings herself up. She's ecstatic, and her ecstatic love and emotion is coming up. The waves of Yamuna come up, and they offer all these lotus buds. They fall one by one by one by one by one onto Krishna's lotus feet as he is practicing his flute. And when that lotus touches his lotus feet becomes red in color because it's too harsh. The lotus petals are too harsh for Krishna's skin. But still, when he gets the first touch, he feels, okay, what is this? Has Srimati Radharani arrived? He sees that everybody is affected by this powerful melody except the gopis. Day 6, his practice continues. And Krishna, again, on day 6, he plays the flute. And this time, when he plays the flute, it's another powerful melody that he has. And when he plays the flute, all the clouds, they all assemble together. And these melodies, they completely mesmerize the clouds which are overhead. And they also mesmerize the mountains like Govardhan. Since we are going to Mayapur, we should sometimes switch to Mayapur for a second, because such pastimes happen even in Mayapur. And we know that how these pastimes happen in Mayapur. Because there was a place where Mahaprabhu, when he used to do kirtan, at that place, there was this beautiful pastime which became Meghera Chara. That when Mahaprabhu used to play Sankirtan, sometimes one day what happened, just outside Belpur, the village, which was previously called as Meghera Chara, there is a village there. And when Gauranga Mahaprabhu was there, all the clouds started arriving, and it was thunderstorm was about to arrive. And all the devotees said, now Sankirtan cannot happen. So Gauranga Mahaprabhu took his kartal and started playing. And all these clouds vanished. And they went away. This is called as the Meghera Chara. This pastime is there. This we can read in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, 17th chapter. Very beautifully. And in this way, similarly, when Krishna was playing the flute music, all the clouds overhead and the mountains and the Giri Govardhan, they all became enchanted. And it was a very beautiful sight to see. 6 days Krishna is practicing. 7th day, he's playing the flute. And he's playing with a frantic feeling of separation of Vipralamba, that I am not able to see Srimati Radharani. The gopis were frantic due to separation from Krishna, because all the 6 days they're constantly hearing Krishna's melody, trying to attract them. The 7th day, their heart is completely attracted. And so the gopis became frantic. And the gopis were thinking that now we have to meet Krishna. The mother-in-laws of those gopis were duplicates, but the mother-in-law felt that the girls whom we have got married to our sons, they have become mad. They are not in their senses. Who can be in their senses when Krishna plays the flute? Venu Madhuro. It's the most beautiful. From the emperor of sweetness, that's Krishna. And at that time, Srimati Radharani thought that I should actually become the bamboo flute. And her thoughts were that the flute is the most fortunate. You know why? Because the flute is a male. And it need not be shy like the gopis. It can be always resting in Krishna's hands, and it has constant access to his lips. It transforms into a beautiful music, the nectar that Krishna gives. The rivers begin to swell. And when the rivers swell, the bamboo trees which are next to the rivers, they start to shed tears. And what are those tears? Are nothing but honey which pours from those bamboo trees. Radharani says, I pray that I become a bamboo flute. I don't want this supreme, transcendental, divine body of a very respectable woman. Nobody else can relish Krishna's lips like how the flute relishes Krishna's lips. She said, the day I become a flute, my consciousness will completely go away. I will forget my own identity. I will not remember that I am Srimati Radhika. But you know what? Krishna will remember. Because Krishna will remember me as the gopi who became a bamboo flute, a piece of wood. But she was always suffering from separation from him. And like in this way, he was playing his seventh day, his flute. And we all know that how they all came for the rasa dance, which also happened in the winter season. Sharadiya rasa. This beautiful rasa dance also happens, the Ras Leela dance, for one night of Brahma. All the gopis, they enjoyed. And Krishna does this to increase the attachment towards him. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Navdeep Mahatmya in chapter number 14, he mentions about Lord Ramchandra. Once Lord Ramchandra walks along with Mother Sita after coming to Navadvip. This is a pastime which is given in Navdeep Mahatmya. Lord Rama and Sita, they come to Navadvip and they pass by Mamgachi. And after that, when Rama comes, he just looks at the surrounding of Navadvip, looks at the nature, and he starts smiling. The most beautiful smile of Lord Ramchandra, he starts smiling, looking at the smile. Mother Sita asked, "Oh lotus-eyed Lord, why are you smiling?" And Lord Ramchandra said, in the future, this is a very big secret, in the future, I will come here. And when I come here, I'll come as Gauranga Mahaprabhu. This is Rama telling to Sita as a secret. This is in Navdeep Mahatmya. And when I come here as Gauranga Mahaprabhu, I'll take sannyas. And at that time, my wife and my mother, they both will cry looking at me taking sannyas. And Sita gets very afraid. I am here, I'm your wife, and you're telling me in the future, you will take sannyas and your wife will cry? Why would she cry? And Ramchandra says, you know everything, but you are playing the part of a jiva who is asking these questions for future benefit. So let me tell you, Sita, Shri Rama balena priya tumi sabhajana, jive rasikhate eva haila ajnana. Shri Rama answered, actually you understand everything, but you teach the souls and now you are acting as if you are unaware. Amate ye prema bhakti tara aswadana, Dui mate haya Sita sunaha vachana. Sunaha vachana. Oh Sita, please listen what I'm going to say. The loving devotion unto me is actually relished in two ways. Sita, please hear my words. And Sita is listening. She's saying that I can be relished either by coming together, which is called Sambhoga, or by Vipralamba. Many of us feel that Ramayana does not have Vipralamba. Here is Lord Ramchandra talking about Vipralamba. Ramchandra is saying Vipralamba and Sambhoga. These are the two ways joy is felt. And he says, Bhakta Mora Nitya Sangi Sambhoga Vanchaya Mama Kripa Vase Tara Vipralamba Haya. My devotees, my eternal associates, they always desire Sambhog. That means they always desire to be with me. But by my grace, Mama Kripa Vase Tara Vipralamba Haya. But only by my grace, they experience Vipralamba Bhav. They experience separation. So Sita asks, which is superior? Vipralamba dukkha yei amara karana parama ananda tahe jane bhakta jana. Let me tell you boldly, Sita, Vipralambe dukkha yai. The sadness which is felt for my sake during Vipralamba Bhav, this is actually the greatest joy, Sita. And when the union happens after Vipralamba, the happiness is Koti Guna Sukha Thahe Haya. It is 10 million times greater than before. So Lord Ramchandra says that this is very, very deep subject matter. But Rama says this to Sita Maya. So in this way, the last 5 minutes that we have, these winter pastimes are very beautiful. So there was a poet whose name was Nagari, and he was talking about the separation that Srimati Radharani was feeling. And this is written in Sharad Man Leela, one of his books, that Radha was feeling intense separation from Krishna, that she told, you, Lalita, you please go to Nandagram and tell Krishna that I'm feeling a lot of separation from him. At that time, Lalita went hurriedly to Nandagram, and at Nandagram, Krishna was sitting in a Ushna Kaksha. Ushna Kaksha means a warm house. It was also called as Tevari. A warm house because it was cold outside, so he was sitting in a warm place. And how were the curtains? The sunlight should not, the cold winter winds should be stopped by the curtains. The curtains were dark. And there was aguru or oud as a fragrance oil which was there. And Krishna was wearing, dressed in cotton-filled garments, which is called as fargul. Such detail. And Krishna was sitting right next to an angiti or a coal pan where there were embers of coal and it was giving him warmth. At that time, Lalita told Krishna, I know it is a cold weather and there are cold winds blowing, but Radharani is burning in separation. It's cold, but she is burning in separation. Her lotus face has actually faded because she has not seen you for many days. And then Krishna thought, if that is so, I have to meet Srimati Radhika. Her face cannot be absolutely faded. And so he immediately proceeded to meet Radha. And when it is said in a very poetic way, when Krishna met Srimati Radharani, it was as if the sun was meeting the fog in winter. It was as if the fire was meeting cotton. It was as if the warmth was meeting the cold. When these two meet, one thing disappears. That is, the fog disappears. That means the sadness disappears. The cotton gets fire. That means the exciting opportunity to meet Krishna, that gets fired. And the warmth meets cold. That means the cold embraces are mixed with the warmth of the presence of the person, that is Krishna. So they all wanted to proceed further to keep warm. The two Sakhis, they walked ahead. They carried some coal pans so that it gave warmth to the divine couple. And they dropped sesame seeds on the ground. It is said that even today, when you apply sesame seed and sesame oil onto the feet, it gives you warmth. Even in the winter season, they offer sesame oil and seeds. And they were dropping sesame seeds on the ground so that when they keep their feet, they feel warm. And they always ensured that Radha and Krishna never feel this cold. And at that time, Krishna looked at Srimati Radhika and he started glorifying Srimati Radhika. And Krishna, acharyas say, he did not have the best of the words. Sometimes Krishna also gets tongue-tied. Krishna said, my dear Radharani, your opulence in Vrindavan is just a shadow of the beauty of your opulence. The opulence of Vrindavan is just like a shadow of your real opulence. That means the opulence of Vrindavan is just like a shadow. In your opulence, your brightness is much, much better. This is what Krishna said to Srimati Radharani. Radharani's eyebrows started to curl in anger. She said, what are you saying, Krishna? My shadows are never bright. Shadows are dark. And it puts you in a dark place, and dark place adds to this coldness and winter. You know why Vrindavan is looking like a shadow? Because you are Sham Sundar. You are the monsoon cloud. And it's your monsoon cloud shadow which is falling on Vrindavan. That is why Vrindavan is looking like a shadow. I don't want to talk to you. I'm going away. And Krishna was stunned. Here he was glorifying, and in the next minute, Radharani is completely upset by the comparison that he made. And she went away and she had this man, she had this anger. And that's where devotees play the ultimate trick. They want to bring the divine couple together. So Lalita went to Srimati Radharani and said, "Dear Radhe," actually what Krishna said was right. She said, "What do you mean?" Lalita said, a shadow is controlled by a body. When the light is obstructed by the body, the shadow is formed. She said, so? Just hear to me. The moonlight similarly is controlled by the moon. A chakra bird is controlled by the sun. A bee is controlled by the lotus. A chakori bird is controlled by the rain. Or what to speak about our body, it is controlled by the soul. Similarly, the master of all gopis, Krishna, is controlled by you, Srimati Radharani. Please be a little merciful and forgive Krishna. What a poetic way. Madana Mohini, that is Srimati Radharani. But Radharani this time said, some mistakes cannot be forgiven, Lalita. He made a big mistake. He should repent. He should do some austerities. So Krishna appeared there and said, please don't have this man. Don't have this anger. Because if you have this anger, the brother of anger will come, who is none other than viraha or separation. And if we are separated again, then there is no way that we will meet each other. And this winter fog is very thick. We might not be able to meet. So when Krishna said it in this way, Srimati Radharani became very happy. And then they started to talk in very sweet ways. They were laughing. Hasya parihasa sambhashane. This is what Narottam Das Thakur is saying. They both, bosi achen dui janere. They both are seated down and they are talking in these sweet relishments. And what are the devotees doing? They are bringing these wonderful sweets, winter sweets made of 8 types of fruit seeds. Different types of fruits are brought together. The seeds are brought together. If only we could know the recipe. These fruit seeds are brought together and beautiful winter sweets are given. And the poet says, may this winter season always bind the divine couple in the ropes of love and engage my mind in always singing their glories. So my dear devotees, in conclusion, our greatest Chakravarti, Vishwanath Chakravarti, in his Krishna Bhavanamrita, he says, Vrinda Devi, she's calling all the 6 seasons. Come here, come here. And she says, each of them are a goddesses. And Vrinda Devi says, O seasonal goddess, you go to each and every forest and serve your maximum for Shri Shri Radha and Krishna. She says to spring, O goddess of spring, go to Govardhan Hill and stay at the Rasasthali. There you have to bring the best of the spring so that the divine couple can enjoy. O autumn, the goddess of autumn, you go to the banks of Yamuna where there is a land of desire trees, which is Vrindavan. Autumn, you be there. O goddess of other seasons, surrender unto yourself in Radha Kund, where all the 10 seasons appear together, and give your fun and astonishment to the beautiful masters. Rainy season, you go to the east of Radha Kund. Autumn season, you go to the south of Radha Kund. Hemanta, which appears between the winter and the autumn, you go to the west of Radha Kund. And winter, you go to the north of Radha Kund. And spring says, where should I stay? I'm spring. You are located everywhere. North, west, east, south of Radha Kund is covered. Where should I stay? So spring, you be in the trees. You be in the flowers. You be in the leaves. You be in the song of the birds, which are in and around Radha Kund. And summer says, you forgot me. Says, you be inside Radha Kund because you have to give warmth to the divine couple. So you stay inside the waters of Radha Kund and ensure that the Jal Kelis, the water pastimes, are successful. In this way, all the 6 seasons offered their obeisances to Srimati Radharani, offered their obeisance to Vrinda Devi, and they started executing their service. Who will not execute such services? And this is what Narottam Das Thakur is actually singing in his last part of the prayer. Orupala Banyarashi Ami Apariche Khasi Hasya Parihasa Sambhashane. As the great beauty of the divine couple and their charming joking and laughter continually showers nectar everywhere. The season is showering nectar, the birds are showering nectar, the wines are showering nectar. It is a Ramya Sthana. Radhakund is nectar, Govardhan is nectar, and everything about Vrindavan is nectar. And in this way, while their smiles are nectar, their conversations are nectar, and while this nectar is going on, and while this is what we are trying to see through our minds, Narottam Das Thakur says, Narottama Dasa Koi Nitya Leela Sukha Moy Sadae Spuruka Mora Mane. He gives in the last line the key to witness this pastimes. It may be in front of our eyes or not, but it can be relished. Sadhai Spuruka Mora Mane. I pray that these blissful, eternal, transcendental pastimes of the divine couple may be always manifested in my heart. Krishna reveals himself, the divine couple reveals themselves in the heart. So the more we open ourselves to the details of Vrindavan, more our heart opens to the divine pastimes of Vrindavan. And hence, Vrindavan is a Ramya Sthana. So I thank you, each and everyone, for listening so patiently. And I wish you all a very, 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 very wonderful Kartik, which is coming up. And in your trips to Vrindavan, please let us have this ardent prayer to open our hearts and just assimilate all these different things, what we are learning, what we are hearing. Let's try to just appreciate the monkeys who carry our glasses, the monkeys who drink fruit juices. They're drinking nectars, but let's have this vision of seeing this Vrindavan in this particular way, that you might see chaos, but there is a transcendental chaos of a different kind. So let us appreciate Vrindavan in this sense of how the acharyas have given it. And that makes it a truly, truly a Ramya Sthana. I thank each and everyone for being in this 3-part series. I hope this would have encouraged your attraction towards Vrindavan Dham, towards all Dhams, and this would enable a very wonderful Damodar month for all of us. Thank you very, very much. Yadatras Khalitam Kinchit Vidhvam Satpurayantu Tat Yadatras Saushtubam Kinchit Tadguru Revame Nahi. If you found mistakes, which will be galore, all those mistakes belong to me, and you are all learned souls who know about Vrindavan. Please correct them. And if you found something which is very appreciable, none of this can be even thought about to write or being shared by me. It's from my spiritual master's research in Vrindavan's library. All glories go to His Holiness Indradivya Maharaj. All glories go to all the acharyas who have put all these together in their realized learnings and scriptures and in their poems. And none of this belonged to me. Thank you very, very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Damodar Mahine ki jai, and Vijay Dashmi Navratri Mahotsav ki jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. If there are any questions, comments, critiques, feedbacks, open to discussion.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. Haridas Varya Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Jai, thank you so much, Prabhuji, for so much nectarian class. Thank you for setting the beautiful mood for all of us as we welcome and enter the month of Kartik. Thank you for sharing the beautiful pastimes of Gopi, how the Krishna is playing pranks on them and explaining the beautiful seasons in Vrindavan Dham. Please pray for me, Prabhuji, that I can enter the Dham and observe this month of Kartik in the right and humble mood, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Very, very grateful to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dear
Anybody
devotees,
have-
we open the forum for realizations.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
Please
Dandavat.
accept my humble obeisance and Dandavat pranams to you, Prabhuji. Please do, when you said that, please comment or please say, I have no words to say. Honestly, every time I hear your class, every time I feel that this is so nectarian. I cannot find words in the dictionary to, describe my feeling. So this is my this is my humble tribute to you. That is so wonderful, Prabhuji. The class, I mean, everything was coming in front of my eyes. It was so nectarian. I mean, unlimited thank you to you, Prabhuji, for your wonderful service. And Danvat pranams to you. And I'm hoping to get, hear another series from very, very soon. I hope so.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna,
All
Prabhuji.
glories
Thank
go
you
to
so
the
much.
Acharyas. All glories to their texts, without which we have no indication of how Vrindavan is. All glories to the Acharyas. But thank you,
Yes,
Mataji.
it's absolutely wonderful. You just set us in the right mood for Kartik, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you so much
Hare Krishna.
for such a nice series, and it was this very sweet series. And I'm sad it's over. But thank you so much for maybe helping us set the mood to enter Karthik and appreciate the sweetness of Vrindavan. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. It was
Thank you, Mataji.
very beautiful last times. Yeah,
Thank you, Mataji.
now we are in a point where we're thinking, what should we do next? But yeah, we hope soon
Post
in this.
Karthik, we should talk about the Vrindavan of South.
Yeah, that's what I know. But this 1 month, yeah, we have to plan something.
Yes. 1 month we will go and relish the Vrindavan, the embassy of spiritual Dham.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes.
Thank you so much again, Prabhu.
Thank
Hare
you,
Krishna.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
pranams.
Dandavat pranam.
All glories to you, Prabhuji.
All
Wonderful
glories to you.
session. You really transported me to Vrindavan for sure. Mentally, I don't know, physically this year won't be possible. But thank you for making us envision all these sweet pastimes of Sri Vrindavan Dham. When you were speaking, I was also remembering His Holiness Srila Indudam Swami Maharaj. How sweetly he also narrates all these beautiful pastimes.
Yes.
So thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. And please, if you are going to Dham, please pray for all of us in Bhakti Sangha so that we also get this opportunity to come to Vrindavan Dham and relish all these pastimes.
Sure, Mataji.
And this year,
As an order carrier, definitely yes.
not as an order carrier, Prabhu. Come on, it's a request. It's a humble request at your lotus feet.
There are no lotuses here, but definitely as an order carrier of all the devotees, yes, I'll pray for all of you. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. And this year, at least if we are not able to physically go, as you said, Spurak Mora Mane, at least in our heart, this Vrindavan should manifest.
Yes.
So thank you, Prabhu. Thank you once again. As Mataji already said that we'll be missing this series.
There are wonderful speakers.
I
in
know
our
they
group.
are, but everybody has their own way of speaking.
Yes.
For
True.
sure.
Hare
Yes.
Krishna.
Thank you,
Variety is
Prabhu.
my Guru Maharaj says, variety is the spice of life.
Yes.
And that's truly true. We should have all varieties. Yes.
Yes,
Thank you,
very
Mataji,
true.
for the kind words. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Anybody else? Apart from yes.
हरे
Yes,
कृष्ण
Mataji.
प्रभु जी
Hare
कोटि
Krishna,
कोटि
Mataji.
दंडवत प्रणाम श्रील प्रभुपाद श्रील गुरुदेव की जय गोपीनाथ की जय श्रीधाम वृंदावन धाम की जय प्रभु जी शब्दों में तो वर्णन नहीं कर सकते आप बचपन से माँ बाबा के साथ वृंदावन धाम भाई तुलसी महारानी स्मृति जा रहे हैं पर जो लीला है पापा खुद लीला करते थे वी आर फॉलोइंग वल्लभाचार्य पंथी श्री लड्डू गोपाल पर प्रभु जी जो आपने लीला एक्सप्लेन की एंड व्हेन द कार्तिक मंथ आई टेक ओनली 1 minute प्रभु जी विथ योर परमिशन कैन आई say a little bit
Yeah, please, Mataji.
प्रभु जी
Please.
इन कार्तिक मंथ वो क्षण मट्टी का चूल्हा बनाते और फिर अमेरिकन अफ्रीकन जो भी है वो फूकनी होती है आयन की एक रॉड होता है छोटा सा बीच में हॉल होता है बंसुरी जैसा और उससे फूक फूक के इवन राधा नाथ महाराज सचिदानंद महाराज ऐसे जय पताका महाराज, जय निरंजन महाराज, जय बीबी गोविंद महाराज, सब महाराज साथ में होते और सब ऐसे प्रभु जी एक कॉर्नर में जो भी चाहिए आपको इंग्रेडिएंट्स वो मिलता है और फिर एवरीबडी इज कुकिंग एंड फिर 2-3 हजार सीसी गोवर्धन को ऑफरिंग होता है और द डे स्टार्टेड एट 2:30 सुनियर पीपल हैज टू प्रभु जी टेक बाथ सो वी हैव टू गेट अप 2:30 और रात को 11:45 तक ड्रामा चलता है। पता नहीं प्रभु जी वो श्री राम वृंदावन धाम यात्रा महाराज के साथ कभी फैमिली के साथ जाते हैं प्रभु जी, पर जल्दी करो सो द भाव इज नॉट देयर। एंड प्रभु जी जब हम श्री राम वृंदावन धाम जाने के लिए जो बनाते हैं 2-3-4 साल से रोज सुबह उठ के श्री राम वृंदावन धाम जाना है, तो प्रभु जी जब हम एंटर होते हैं भाई तो मर्सिया भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी एंड शिल प्रभुपाद श्रील गुरुदेव, तो प्रभु जी श्री राधा रमन के पास खड़े रहते हैं तो राधा रमन के डोर बंद हो जाते। दैट इज द वीरा भाव। ऐसे ही हम वृंदावन ढाके दर्शन लेंगे उसका कोई मीनिंग नहीं है, पर अंदर से वी हैव टू प्रिपेयर अवर सेल्फ टू एंटर इन श्री धाम वृंदावन धाम बाय मॉर्निंग साधना अटेंटिवली विद सीनियर वैष्णव, बाय हियरिंग कृष्ण कथा कृष्ण कथा श्री धाम वृंदावन धाम लीला, तब हम वृंदावन धाम में आ पाते। प्लीज प्रे फॉर ऑल भक्ति संघा माता जी दैट दिस ईयर प्रभु जी हम श्री धाम वृंदावन धाम, श्री महापुर धाम, श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम, श्री प्रभुपाद श्री गुरुदेव भक्ति देव तुलसी महारानी की मर्सी से एंटर हो पाए। थैंक यू प्रभु जी एंड बाय द आई रिक्वेस्ट ऑल भक्ति संघा टीचर्स दैट प्लीज कंटिन्यू वन मोर मंथ कार्तिक मंथ श्री राम वृंदावन धाम लीला। प्लीज माय हम्बल रिक्वेस्ट, जय राधे जय कृष्णा एंड सो मेनी वृंदावन धाम सॉन्ग। प्लीज प्रभु जी आप हमें अपना एसोसिएशन देना और सीधा वृंदावन धाम में लेके जाना। कोटि
Thank you,
कोटि दंडवत
Mataji.
प्रणाम।
Please keep blessing us that we have the same kind of emotions and love towards Vrindavan Dham as you are reciprocating here. Thank you very much for sharing your realization. You are going to Mayapur and other dhams as well as Vrindavan Dham. So it's an Audharya
यस
Dham.
प्रभु जी श्री द्वारकाधीश धाम, सीधा
Yes.
वृंदावन धाम।
So please pray
Please
for
pray
us that
that
we
at
can.
least stay there 10 days, Prabhuji. It is very small, but still pray. Shri Jagannath Sisi Mayapur Dham.
Yes, definitely. Hare Krishna. Yes, Vinita Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you
Hare
so
Krishna.
much for a wonderful class, Prabhuji. 3 classes were so sweet and very nice. We were able to see the pastimes in front of our eyes, how Radha and Krishna are enjoying and all the Leela that you were explaining, and especially last week's song. So beautiful, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for such a beautiful song. I keep hearing that song.
The winter. The winter
We are enjoying a lot. Thank you
Yes.
so much, Prabhuji. Very, very grateful to you.
Thank
And
you,
I
Mataji.
especially will miss these sessions, Prabhuji. Please come back soon with another topic. We'll be
Sure.
very grateful to you. Hare Krishna.
Sure, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam. I think there are no questions today. So we can close the call.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, humble request if you could sing Vrindavan Ramya Sthana.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else wants to sing? I've been speaking, but anybody else wants to sing? Any Mataji wants to sing?
This time you sing,
Sarvapalika
Prabhu.
Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, you sing.
This time you sing, Prabhu.
Okay. So let me share the screen. Okay. I hope everybody has the song in front of them. Yes. Let me just share the screen. Vrindavana Ramya Sthana Divya Chintamani Dhama Ratna Mandira Mano Hara Abhrita Kalindini Re Rajahamsa Keli Kare Rahe Shobhe Kanaka Kamala Tara Madhye Hema Pitha Ashtadale Vestita अष्टदले प्रदान नायिका तारामध्ये रत्नसाने बोशिया चेन्दुईजने श्यामा संगे सुंदरी राधिका रूपलावण्यराशि आमिया परिचय खासी हास्य परिहास संभाषणे नारोत्तम दास खोय नित्य लीला सुखमोय सदाई स्फुरुक मोरा माने हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे श्री नरोत्तम दास ठाकुर की जय वृंदावन रम्य स्थाना की जय थैंक यू वेरी वेरी मच हरे कृष्णा
Hare Krishna. I would like to thank His Grace, Haridas Varya Prabhuji, for his valuable time and association this morning. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for very beautiful nectarian 3 sessions. And thank you for taking us into Vrindavan Dham. Looking forward to your association in the near future. I would like to pay my obeisances to His Grace Haridas Varya Prabhuji and all the assembled devotees. Do I have your permission to close the call, Prabhuji?
Sure, Mataji.
Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhuvya patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavyo namo namah. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Vrindavan Dham ki jai, His Grace Haridas Varya Prabhuji ki jai.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Shridam Vrindavan Dham ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Shri Balshara Dham ki jai.